What's up, you guys? Steve here with your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. And today is expected to be a big day for the stimulus bill, as we're expecting to see it hit the Senate floor for voting starting today. Now, we're waiting to hear when it's going to be officially hitting, but we do know that this bill has changed significantly from the time that we saw it hit the House floor and pass, because back then it was just a 591-page bill, and now it's about a 670-page bill. There's been a lot of changes made to it. As you guys know, stimulus checks, about 16 million Americans that previously received the first two rounds, they're not going to be eligible to receive this third round. That's just one of the changes that has been made to the bill. Now, we don't have the official bill yet. Maybe it's out. I haven't seen it, but we have received some word on some of the changes. So in today's video, I'm going to get you caught up on the new schedule that we're expecting to see unfold starting today in the Senate, and also some of the changes that have been made to the bill. So I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as of today, March the 4th. But before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, it'll just take a second. If you like and appreciate these video updates, keeping you up to date on everything going on with stimulus, unemployment, Congress, the economy, anything having to do with money, why don't you go ahead and take a second to smash the like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Like button, comments, and sharing these videos out on social media platforms to anybody that you think might be interested. It helps out my channel. Thank you so much. And also, if you're not already part of the RAM fam, the viewing community here, and you'd like to stay up to date on everything rolling out, take a second to smash the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so that way as soon as I upload, you can get notified right away. And be sure to follow me on Instagram as well at SteveRam3, because I do my best to respond to as many comments here on YouTube as I can, but there's a lot, so I don't get to them all. But Instagram is also a great way to get a hold of me as well. And always remember that here on YouTube, whenever I respond to comments, my comments will have a gray stripe on the name. And if you don't see that, please use caution, because there's a lot of scammers and imposters out there trying to pose as me, trying to steal your information. Remember, I'll never give out random phone numbers in the comments, never recommend you to random assistants or try to sell you Bitcoin or ask for your bank account information. So if you see that, please use caution. But you guys, now let's go ahead and dive into the latest of what we're expecting to see today in the Senate regarding the new stimulus bill. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, you guys, so first we're going to be diving into an article that just came out this morning that's going to let us know a little bit about the path forward and the considerations to further modify the bill. That's right, cutting it down even more, making it more targeted. And then we're going to look at an article after that that's going to call out specifically the changes to the bill and what we can expect to see today hit the Senate floor. So first, a link in the description below to this article that just came out a couple hours ago that says, as Senate rushes the $1.9 trillion bill through Congress, Biden faces doubts over whether it's still the right package. The pandemic was exacting a brutal toll when 6 days before his inauguration, President-elect Joe Biden first released his $1.9 trillion relief proposal. The economic recovery was backsliding, pandemic cases were surging, and vaccines were just starting to get out. Now, nearly 2 months later, as the Senate plans to begin voting Thursday, today, on a nearly identical package, the economic and public health outlook appears to have changed. The economy is doing better, pandemic cases have plateaued at a high but much reduced level, and Biden has said that there would be vaccines for every American adult by the end of May. So we're going to continue on here in just a second, but I wanted to pause to get your thoughts in the comments down below, as this article, it's starting off by saying that things are improving, things are getting better, cases are down, vaccines are rolling out, and the economy is getting better. So they're making the argument that stimulus, we might not need as much of it as we thought. Now, this is interesting because we have progressive Democrats pushing for multiple stimulus checks, more unemployment, and at the same time, though, we have moderate Democrats, same party, but different ends of the spectrum, saying we need less and more targeted. And we saw yesterday, President Joe Biden agreed to reduce those who could get stimulus checks. So he's beginning to side with, let's make this more targeted. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But let's go ahead and continue reading. It says, for policy experts and even members of Biden's own party, the improving picture is raising questions about whether the stimulus bill is mismatched to the needs of the current moment. It says the improving economy and improving outlook on the virus has dramatically changed the dynamic on Biden's spending plans, but the bill has remained largely the same, said Bill Hogan. Now, on Wednesday, Biden agreed to a last-minute change pushed by moderate Democrats to tighten eligibility on the stimulus payments for higher-earning Americans, although liberal Democrats have called for expanding the payments. Centrist Democrats are expected to push other changes to further target the package, so they're even talking about making this even more targeted. It says, including redirecting state aid and reducing jobless benefits for Americans. Now, we did hear yesterday that President Joe Biden said that he would not be reducing unemployment benefits. That's the last we had heard. Now, if Democrats want to get this passed, they're going to have to get unified, because Republicans, on the other hand, are completely unified against the bill, and Democrats can expect no support from Republicans. Take a look at this. The article says, citing the improving economic outlook, House Republicans were united in voting against Biden's bill last week. Virtually all Senate Republicans are expected to oppose the measure as well. It's of a size that might have made sense a year ago. This is not a year ago, said Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. We're making extraordinary progress with the rollouts of the vaccine. Congressional Democrats and many economists have countered that the economy needs a dramatic boost to lift it from the grip of the pandemic crisis. Now, we're still in the height of this pandemic, said White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Wednesday. We are not going to recover from this pandemic tomorrow, and the economic recession will not be recovered tomorrow. Biden has repeatedly argued that the risks of spending too little to help the economy outweigh the risks of spending too much. White House officials have also cited polling showing Biden's relief plan is broadly popular with Americans, including a majority of Republican voters. And even those who say the bill could be better targeted have acknowledged that Democrats' urgency is being fueled by an impending deadline of March 14th, when tens of millions of Americans will begin to lose unemployment benefits if no action is taken. So they're saying, we know that maybe we need to make this more targeted, but the fact of the matter is we need to get this done, and we need to get it done before March 14th, which now is only 10 days away. So once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but now let's take a look at some of the modifications we can expect to see that are being made in this bill that's going to be hitting the Senate floor very likely today. So let's take a look at an article, link in the description below, that's going to give us a little bit more insight. And it says, draft Senate aid plan would cut direct funds to cities, counties. And it says, a new version of the Senate Democrats' pandemic relief plan would put new restrictions on some $350 billion in aid to states and localities, while diverting $10 billion of the money for cities and counties to critical capital projects like broadband access. The revised 633-page text, so before it was 591, they've added on about 40 pages of additional text. This was obtained by CQ Roll Call, makes a variety of other adjustments from a version circulating over the weekend that the House passed at $1.9 trillion. One of the biggest changes, announced early Wednesday, and I let you guys know about that as soon as the breaking news hit, it would lower the income threshold at which direct payments would cut off completely at $100,000 down to $80,000 for individuals, and from $200,000 down to $160,000 for joint filers. So for stimulus checks, if you're an individual making over $80,000, you are not eligible for a stimulus check, and couples filing jointly that make over $160,000, you are now no longer eligible. And they're saying this is going to cut out about 16 million Americans from stimulus checks. Now, reading on, other changes including carving out $2.75 billion from overall funding for K-12 education and directing it to private schools that serve a significant percentage of low-income students, and graduates who obtain student loan forgiveness during the next 5 years, whether due to emergency orders during the pandemic or through just regular income-based repayment options. They wouldn't have to pay taxes on that forgivable loan, which ordinarily is treated as taxable income. On the healthcare front, the latest version would set aside $8.5 billion for rural healthcare providers, apparently offset by extending by 1 year custom user fees that were set to expire in 2029, an oft-used budgetary gimmick to keep costs down on paper. It would also preserve an earlier Medicare reimbursement rate increase for hospitals in what are considered all urban states like New Jersey, Delaware, and Rhode Island, despite GOP opposition. Another key healthcare change would fully subsidize health insurance premiums under the federal law known as COBRA for workers who leave their jobs. The House-passed bill and earlier Senate drafts would have required workers to chip in 15% of their premiums while subsidizing the remainder. And lastly, other changes that have been made to the bill will include the following: dropping a section that would be provided for special benefits to longshoresmen that have contracted the pandemic while on the job, striking an offset that would freeze the cost of living adjustments in retirement plan contributions and replacing it with an expanded limit on business deductions for highly compensated employees starting after 2027, and the addition of $110 million for the Federal Emergency Management Agency to provide food and shelter to families and individuals released from the Department of Homeland Security detention. So you guys, these are the changes that we've seen so far to the bill, and this is the schedule that we're expecting to see. So it looks like a lot of changes are cutting stuff out, and we're expecting this bill to now be under $1.9 trillion. Now, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date as more information rolls out, and I'll let you know as soon as we get the official bill and it hits the Senate floor as to what's happening. We're expecting that to be today. And also, you guys, we're expecting to see another stimulus package rolling out here, the Build Back Better plan, after they pass this one, the current one they're working on, the American Rescue Plan, into law. And that one, they're saying there's going to be a lot more stimulus included, a lot more provisions, and I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. So once again, if you made it this far and you haven't already, why don't you go ahead and take a second to smash the like button. It helps out the channel. I would appreciate it. And if you want to stay up to date on everything, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. And you guys, I hope this reaches you well. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.